I am very happy to have a familiar face join us, Jack Garratt. Jack, really appreciate your time.
Oh, no, thank you very much for your patience and for your time as well.
No, absolutely. It's a running joke, the quarantine hair, the quarantine beard, but you're all set.
Oh my God! Yeah. Thankfully enough, I had this sort of chic down before it felt more like a sentence. I'm still very much craving a pair of clippers, but luckily enough, it's not. I mean, it's not too bad yet. I'm getting that little thing between my beard and the back of my hair. That's starting to come. That little bit just there. I noticed that today, so I got to do something about that.
I was expecting for you to look like Moses, you know.
No, that's just for the weekends.
Oh, that's just weekends. Before we go any further, I got to say, your studio looks amazing. It's decked out. Is this...
Oh, man, thank you.
Is this where you've been making music the past 10 years or what have you?
Yeah, I wish. No, this is just the top floor of a house that I'm renting in London. But yeah, I mean, the way it looks now is not the way that it's looked for the last year I've been living here, because just before the lockdown happened, one of my best friends in the world, a really good, an amazing engineer, a friend of mine called Ollie Waiton, who we've been talking to a lot today. He and I built this. So this rig, everything that's around me, this is the touring rig that I've been using for my tour that I've been on up until this point, because obviously no one's doing any shows at the moment. And we found a way to take everything from my locker, bring it to my studio here, to my room, my second bedroom essentially, and build it and then make it streamable. So the whole premise was I wanted to take the show that I've been doing on the road for the last couple of months, and I wanted to bring it into a world where I could still share it with people at home, because I know not everyone was able to come to those shows. I know, for example, I haven't done anything in America this year. The plan was actually I was going to be in America right now. But obviously plans change.
Yeah. No, it looks amazing. And
thanks, man.
Obviously, we were looking forward to seeing you, and a handful of EPs that we have. Man, they just scream, I am Jack Garratt. Congrats on these two releases. And
thanks,
the backstory obviously is very different. It's not as euphoric as the beats and the upbeat tempo may sound. It's really interesting that a lot of the things that you're going through when you were touring the States and having a lot of success and nice words written about you, there was a lot that was going on in your head.
Yeah, I think it was. This album is really important to me. Love, Death and Dancing is really important to me simply just because it's honest. I think the first album, I love the first album. I love Phase a lot, and it means so much to me. But it means a certain kind of thing to me because it represents a certain time for me, and it's the time that you're referencing. So, like when I was regularly, traveling a lot, I was able to travel the world because of the music that I'd made and got to perform in front of people all over. But yeah, there was a darkness, and there was a voice in the back of my head that was constantly reminding me or constantly trying to make me aware that maybe I didn't deserve any of it. And also as well, it's funny that you specifically mentioned maybe the success that I was having and the nice things that were being written about me. But if you would have asked me at the time if I thought people were writing nice things about me and if I was successful, I would tell you no. I would answer no to both of those things. I mean, there's no other reason for that other than I think it seems to be human nature. It seems to be specifically human nature within people who have similar jobs like mine, who are either creative or artists or musicians. We definitely like to hang on to the negative comments more than accept the positive ones. And I found myself in a period of time where I was an easy target for, I think, a lot of... I was an easy target for a lot of people, and a lot of those people were professionally hired to write for a living, and what they wrote about me wasn't necessarily very helpful or nice, and it bludgeoned me into a corner where I felt like I needed to hate myself, and I felt like that's what I deserved. It was very, very strange. So this record was a real turning point for me because over the 3-4 years since I've released anything, but over the 3 years I've been writing and making this record, my one goal has been to just make music that screams honesty. So what's really loving and what's really heartwarming to hear is you say that it screams me, it screams Jack Garratt as a sound, because I've not tried to do that. I've just made a record that I am proud of, and the thing I've found with the reaction so far is that it seems to be very much me, and that makes me very proud, because like I said, I've not attempted to, I've not searched for that, I've just made a record that I'm proud of.
A lot of music is so subjective. One man's Nickelback is another man's Jack Garratt is another man's Sam Smith.
Careful about Nickelback, mate. There was one album there that was very good. Sorry, I'm being unnecessary.
And so you've been making music for all your life, 8 years old, if I recall, right? And you played multiple instruments, and a very loving family, a supportive family, and people showered you with praise, I'm sure, and I'm sure they also critiqued you as well. What changed, or what was the level of which of words or the exposure that really just flipped the switch in you to have that imposter syndrome?
I think, if I'm honest, the imposter syndrome has always been in me. Something I talk a lot about on the tour that I have been on, and one of the songs on the album explicitly references this exact thing. That I think the negativity that I have for myself, the kind of almost self-prophesizing hatred that I seem to have had for myself, I think has been with me for a very long time. The first album, I toured hard and I promoted hard and I worked hard to make that record as great as it could have been. And not a lot of people, I think just one or two journalists seem to see that hard work as privilege or luck. And that was tough to kind of sit with, because it made me feel like like I said before, it made me feel like I didn't necessarily deserve the things that were happening, and that made me question my talents, it made me question my ability. And I still question all those things. I still question my talent. I still question my ability. I think I might do for the rest of my life. But the thing I've come to realize on this album is that that's okay. I think something that we're forced to think, the way that we're forced to think about emotions as children and as young adults, is that some emotions are problems that need to be fixed. You know, no one's ever questioned my happiness. People have always questioned my sadness. And I think that's bankrupt. I think that's a very strange way to perceive emotions that we all share. My sadness, my depression, my loneliness, my self-effacing, British charm should be accepted as much as my happiness is. They are both equally valid emotions. I have to learn how to balance them. I have to learn how to live with them. I don't understand why there is a societal expectation for me to swat one feeling away and accept another. The song I've played for you guys, Mara, is about intrusive thinking. It's about thoughts that come to me rather than thoughts that come from me. And it's a song that tells a story about me encouraging myself to take ownership over those thoughts. No one's placed the thought in my head that I don't like myself, for example. That's me. That's come from me. It's about time I ask that thought why it's in my head. It's about time I ask that thought what it needs from me. How can I help it? How can I live with it?
It's a great thing that you've done to be able to share that as well.
Yeah, thank you. I guess it's difficult to kind of take any sort of to kind of take a compliment like that, because it feels somewhat counterproductive in my head.
Right.
It seems like it defeats the point. Not that I'm trying to martyr myself, because I'm not, but also, I don't know. Yeah. I also just find it hard to take compliments anyway.
In the middle of all this, you got married.
Yeah.
I hear that you did it at a venue. Like, you talk about a most comfortable and organic type of environment. You both being in the music industry, there you are on stage, your mom's playing harp and you're serenading your wife.
Yeah, we did it at a so I met my wife in the music industry. She was interning for a record label at the time, and she now no longer works in the music industry, but music is so important to us, and like venues are very important places to us because they offer so much. They're not just used for music; they're used for exhibitions. They're used for installments. They're used for public events like the one that we had. Well, private events like the one that we had. But the venue that we went to, it was. I'm very lucky to be good friends with the guys Mumford and Sons, and the keyboardist of Mumford and Sons, Ben Lovett. Is the owner of the venue that we got married in. It was absolutely incredible. Like I know that everyone says this about their wedding, but they're wrong, because ours was the best wedding ever.
It really was. When it's my turn, yours is the gold standard for which I'm going to try to achieve. I'm going to have to teach my mom to learn how to play harp.
No, you don't have to do it as a play-by-play. You can just do your version of it. That's the beauty of it.
I'll have dogs, all of it. I don't care what you say.
Oh my God, everywhere, of course.
Jack, I really appreciate the time. Great to catch up with you. Congrats on these EPs.
Well, thank you so much for having me, man. No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support as well. Thank you.